welcome to our YouTube series. We are very fortunate today to have a guest for our YouTube series. This is Ali Burkett. She is with Foley Family Wines. And today she'll be taking us through a very historic winery in Sonoma, Sebastiani Vineyards. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Ali. You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm really excited to debut these wines with you today. Sebastiani Vineyards, one of the most historic vineyards in Sonoma, founded in 1904. And a lot of our vines are actually really old vines as well, from 1961. So you're getting beautiful quality wines at a great value. We're also lucky enough to say that our winemaker, Mark Lyon, who's in Wine Spectator all the time, he's been with us since 1979. So we have somebody intimately involved with not only Sonoma itself, but the vineyards, the soil, winemaking. We're really lucky to have him on board and to be the director of our fine wine portfolio. So without further ado, I will showcase our 2013 Chardonnay. And the Chardonnay, I feel like, is all about balance. And you're going to taste this if you come to the tasting at Blanchard's in West Roxbury next week. The Chardonnay undergoes about 50% barrel aging, 50% stainless steel tank aging. It also undergoes 50% malolactic fermentation. So what that means is you're getting a little bit of that buttery, that creaminess, that oaky flavor in your Chardonnay, but the stainless steel is balancing it out with nice acidity, beautiful citric fruit, a lot of green apple. So it's a wonderfully balanced Chardonnay, great pricing, and it's aged in about 10 months of French, Hungarian, and American oak. So you're not getting the American oak overpowering the French and Hungarian oak. French and Hungarian is a little bit more of a neutral oak. So you'll see in most of the wines here, everything except for the Cabernet, I believe, is actually aged in French, Hungarian, and American oak for that reason. Moving on to the Pinot Noir. This is the 2013 Pinot Noir. And Pinot is kind of a delicate grape. It's not only is it hard to grow, but it's thin-skinned, as they like to say. So we source our Pinot Noir grapes from our cooler climate holdings, which would be Russian River Valley, Sonoma Coast, and those areas are renowned for Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. That's what they do best. That's what they make the best production of. And this doesn't see a lot of oak. This is 6 months in Hungarian and French oak. Again, we didn't want the American oak to overpower the subtle fruit that you get in the Pinot Noir. And a lot of the Pinot Noir, it tastes like where it comes from, the terroir. And it really exemplifies the Russian River Valley. You get nice maraschino cherry, a little bit of tartness to it. And then on the finish, it's more of a silky texture, a little bit of spice. And that just really comes from just the hint of oak aging on the wine. So wonderful Pinot Noir, beautifully balanced, again, a beautiful representation of the Sonoma Coast appellation. Next up is the Sebastiani 2011 Merlot. 2011 was a little bit of a tough vintage for a lot of producers. It was wetter than average. It kind of had some heat spikes here and there that were a little wonky. So you know, a lot of the grapes were a little tougher to grow in 2011, but not so much for us in Sonoma County. We were so diversified in our plantings that we were still able to produce a wonderful Merlot. And we added a little bit of Petit Verdot and Cab just to give it a little bit of structure and to, and I'm talking like less than 2% here, but that still adds like a little bit of structure and a little bit of complexity to the Merlot. We do age this 11 months in French, Hungarian, and American oak. And you just get a nice blackberry, black cherry. It's a pretty straightforward Merlot, but you get a lot of complexity on the finish, which is nice. So that's our little gem here. Sebastiani is known for their Cabernet. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but there's a very famous vineyard on the property called the Cherry Block Vineyard. And it's one of our oldest vineyards, beautiful gravelly soils. When the soils are gravelly, the vines really have to struggle for water, and that means the berries are smaller, they're more concentrated in flavor and in texture and in color. So these two, the last two wines I'm going to show you today, are really the crown jewels of the Sebastiani vineyard. So this is our 2013 Cabernet. And again, 2013 was a fantastic vintage for not only Sonoma, but for the whole region. They had an early bud break in March, early flowering in May, and no crazy heat spikes. So really what that means is long hang time with the fruit on the vine. So the vine had time to develop its sugars and complexity and flavor. So you're going to get a lot of fruit, a lot of jamminess. With the Cabernet, we do, I'm sorry, let me take a quick peek at my notes. These are all from our oldest vines from 1961. And it sees about 10 months in just American oak. So what they wanted to do was, because this is Cabernet, this is kind of our big boy, it needed a little bit more structure. It would have overpowered the French or Hungarian oak. So you needed a little bit of American oak to sort of give it a little bit of a slap on the back and make it stand up straight, you know? But yeah, it only sees about 10 months of that oak. So you're getting you know, beautiful old vine vineyards, beautiful complexity in the wine. So this is really a great value. And the last but not least, is our red blend. This is our Gravel Bed Red by Sebastiani. This is our 2013. And again, great vintage. It's a really well-balanced wine because 46% of the Cabernet that is in this wine comes from our cherry block vineyards. So if you were to buy a cab from Sebastiani that was just our cherry block cab, I mean, it would probably be close to $100 retail.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, they don't make a lot of the cherry block cab, and it's very expensive. So the great thing about the Gravel Bed Red is it's a red blend. It's 62% cab from cherry block, 16% Merlot, a little bit of Malbec, and a little bit of Zinfandel. So primarily Cabernet, all from the cherry block vineyards. So you're getting that cherry block name and that cherry block quality without the cherry block price tag, which is great. But don't we all like that? And this sees about 9 months in French and Hungarian and American oak. So again, we use a combination of all three, and it produces a wonderfully balanced wine. You get that beautiful Cabernet. This is your big boy that you can have with a steak when you get home.
Great. So fantastic wine at the CC. We have a pretty balanced Chardonnay, Malo, different styles of fruit in it. Wonderful espresso of its terroir, Pinot Noir, very California. I would say from experience personally, having had this various vintages, this is definitely a more complex Merlot than you would expect at the price point, which I think is true of pretty much the whole portfolio of these wines. Yes, definitely the cab is a big, powerful, delicious cab. Still balanced. This I am very excited to try the current vintage, which I will be doing with you. And it's great, beautiful blend, and again, fantastic value considering cherry block, the history behind it, and the quality really, and how small the yield of production is. That's very generous of them to put as much cherry block in this. And this is 62% Cabernet, correct?
Yes.
In it?
Yep.
So yeah, so it's fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you, Allie, for being our special guest
Thanks for
tonight on our
having
YouTube
me.
channel. It's
I hope to see you
fantastic.
all